Hello and welcome to ONTV's Fantasy Football League. I am the commish, Joe Johnson. I'm joined, as usual, by Ian Witherspoon.
Hello, sir.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, no problem.
You had a rough fantasy weekend. We'll get to your game in a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to start off by recapping the scores from Week 10. And we're going to start off with the game of the week. And by week, I mean W-E-A-K. I had the second lowest point total in the league this week and somehow managed to win.
By 12.
Not sure how that happened. I'm grateful to Odell Beckham for playing on Monday Night Football. He was my last player to play. I was down heading into the game by a few points, and he caught a touchdown and secured the win for me over Joe Velez and his undeflated team. As you can see, I didn't put up a ton of points. Matt Ryan had a down week against Philadelphia, only 16 points. Odell Beckham was my second highest score. Velez got 21 points from David Johnson. We kind of predicted he was going to have a big game against San Francisco, 55 yards and a touchdown. He must have had a receiving touchdown, too, because how would he get 21 points? I think he had a receiving touchdown,
Must have. Yeah, I think he did, actually.
Yeah. And Demaryius Thomas, 14 points. But as you can see, a lot of single digits. Carlos Hyde, 1 point. Brandon Marshall, 1 point. I don't know if I would start any Jet players at this point. My dud of the game. Gary Barnidge, tight end, he's just not having the season he had last year, and he gave me a big old goose egg despite being healthy and starting in that game. A big old 0, that's my dud of the game. On the bench, I left some points on the bench. My biggest regret was Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
I benched Doug Baldwin. I had him in the flex spot, and he caught 3 touchdowns against New England, scored 23 points. And Eli Manning this week outscored Matt Ryan. He had a nice game against Cincinnati. Despite throwing 2 interceptions, he produced 24 points. Velez's team, all single digits on the bench. DeAndre Hopkins not having the season that most people were expecting.
Nope.
We'll talk more about him when we make predictions next week. Let's look at the game between the Reawakening versus Valhalla, the Thrashers. He's taking pride in that win, despite the fact that Valhalla is one of the worst teams in the league.
Despite, yeah, he doesn't know what football is.
So let's look at the studs and duds of the game. Big Ben, after coming back into the starting lineup there, the starting position, 38 points against Dallas, had a monster game.
That was a fun one.
I believe he had 408 yards, 3 touchdowns. So that's about no picks, right? I don't think he had any picks. That's about as solid a performance as you can expect from your quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, he put up 32, which kind of surprises me because the Packers did not look good against Tennessee. That must be a lot of garbage time yardage and scoring. 371 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. But, wow, a lot of the naysayers are coming out and starting to question what's wrong with the Packers. Not having a good I mean, they're playing well and they're winning games, but they just don't seem to be the same Packers team.
Past few weeks, they've been looking bad.
Yeah.
Losing to the Colts at home, bad news, getting murdered by the Titans. I love it. It's beautiful.
Duds of the game, after Jimmy Graham had a monster week the week before, he only produced 4 points against New England for Sammy's team. -2 from Michael Thomas, Saints wide receiver. How does a wide receiver get negative points? That's pretty crazy.
He lost the fumble, didn't he?
4 catches for 40 yards, and he must have had a turnover. So that's the dud of the game. Let's look at the benches. Nothing too exciting on the benches. Larry Fitzgerald, 13 points on the bench. Single digits over on the other side. So nothing too earth-shattering over there. Let's look at, let's jump to this game. Let's jump to your game. Irish Brogues. Some might call this an upset. 121 points to 92.
Yeah.
Team Witherspoon. Zach Prescott continues to impress, 24 points against the Steelers. DeMarco Murray, oh my God, what a monster game he had, 27 points.
Ran through that Swiss cheese defense the Green Bay Packers got there, huh?
Yeah, amazing performance. And Antonio Brown, his usual great performance, 21 points. You got 27 from Drew Brees, 15 to his go-to guy, Brandon Cooks. A lot of single digits there. Who jumps out as your dud? Who are you most disappointed in?
Either
Stewart against Kansas City.
Or Devonta Freeman. 7 points.
Yeah.
And they were playing the Eagles.
Yeah.
They're not bad. Their defense is a lot better at home, so I should have probably looked at that. But I didn't really have anyone else to go to, so.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you kind of were hit hard by the buys there. You had 3 guys on bye. Macklin is out. So tough loss, but you're still at 7-3, and you have the best record in the league. You're tied for best record in the league. So.
And I own the tiebreaker over who I'm tied with, so it's quite all right.
All right, and let's look at our final game from Week 10, Atwater versus King Koloje. And Atwater had been rebounding nicely. Oh, well, what? We have a surprise guest.
How are you doing today, Joe? How are you doing?
I'm good.
Wonderful.
What a lovely surprise.
About you.
Is your mic on?
Cares about what you think.
Is it on?
It is, isn't it?
Okay, all right.
Typical
That's
Witherspoon.
unfortunate.
All right. And who, look at all these. You
Look
got
at all
4
this-
guys who produced 20-something points.
yes.
159 is, I believe, the second
the
highest
second,
point
yes,
total
the
of the
second,
season.
yep.
Go ahead, recap your
Well,
week. What the
let's
heck?
look
Go ahead.
at, first things first, you want to give credit to your competitor, Mr. Smoke at the Atwater, Mr. John Atwater, who you look at Ezekiel Elliott scoring 38 points, Phillip Rivers 22 points, Devontae Adams 15. That's pretty impressive numbers. 108 points is going to beat a lot of people. Look at our team, King Koloje Ant, the combination of myself and Garrett Koloje. Look at Kirk Cousins, 25 points. Le'Veon Bell, 24.
Let's look at Ryan
Matthews
stat
was
line.
surprising. He
109 yards, 2 touchdowns.
27 points also.
Look at that. He has 4 touchdowns in 3 weeks.
Yes.
He's been kind of turning things around a little bit.
Very, very impressive. You look at Delaney Walker, our tight end, had 18.
He's been very consistent all
Yes.
season. He put a hurt on us at the Lions home opener. And
LeGarrette Blount, 24 points on Monday night.
Another big performance.
Our kicker, on Sunday night, and Steven
Hauschka,
sorry. 12 points a kicker. Very, very impressive. 159 points. That is extremely, extremely impressive.
Will you shut up?
Ian Witherspoon, don't you worry. Don't you worry, baby doll. You'll lose another game.
If you win this league, what do you get? Are you going to, have a parade down Main Street or what? I mean, you win 1 week and you come on and hijack the show?
If I win this, first things first, I'm going to congratulate my good friend Garrett Koloje. Second of all,
for carrying her butt around all year.
Yeah, the puppet master.
Oh,
you should give him a back brace for
There's a
carrying
reason
her
why. There's a reason why, Ian. When it comes to between Terminas, you're number 3.
Ooh.
And also, don't think that Sam's not happy with you about what you're saying about him either.
He can't say much. He's under 500.
Well, while you're here, Ant, let's take a look at the standings here. You are in the West Division. You are neck and neck with Team Witherspoon, 7-3. You guys are doing battle to take that division title.
Well, I mean, it's the old saying: if Spoon and I were to meet again, Spoon and us were to meet again, then it's very hard to beat a team 3 times, and I don't think that's going to happen this time. But the guy that I'm most unfortunate for is Mr. Smoke in the Atwater, John Atwater, because I believe how it's set up is the 2 division champs are your 1-2, and then you have their 2 wild cards. And this point, because of the tiebreaker, Garrett and I would be 3, and then Kevin McCormick who is the Team Irish Brogues, would be number 4.
If
it holds out.
Changes,
so
there's 3 more games in our regular season, so he's going to have to pretty much win out to have a shot.
I
at making
agree.
the playoffs.
And then Kevin's got to lose at least.
Over
2.
in the East, we have a battle going on.
Yes.
Only 2 games separate last from first. Sammy and I are battling for second place. We both have 4-6 records. I never would have thought the way my season was going that with 3 games left in the season, I have a shot.
I would have never thought that. Ian Locke, his team, Valhalla Thrashers, I'm sorry, his team's not very, very strong. He got a chance, but I mean, it's not very, very strong.
All he has really going the rest of the season is being the spoiler, trying to ruin it for everybody else.
Here's the thing: you and Sam Joe have a great shot at potentially catching Mr. Velez, and
he's been a little he's a little unlucky streak going.
Yes,
I think.
And Sammy's made reference to Velez's schedule, because Velez's schedule is going to be very brutal. He's got McCormick, he's got Spoon, and then he's got Garrett and I that last week of the season. So that's brutal. That's a brutal stretch.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. 3 games left in the season. It can go in any direction right now.
Yes,
It's kind of
that is
exciting.
true. That is true. Also, the one thing I don't like about the standings is Team Witherspoon is first right now. That's just absolutely heinous, ladies and gentlemen.
He's been dominating.
It's unacceptable. It's inexcusable.
I think you'll get past the upset this week. We'll see.
I'd like to see him lose all his games.
We'll take a look at next week's games in a little while. For now, we're going to take a break, and we're going to make some Week 11 predictions when we come back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this. Residents are invited to line the streets of downtown Lake Orion on Saturday, December 3rd at 6 p.m. for the 2016 Orion Area Lighted Christmas Parade. The parade starts at Blanche Sims Elementary School and travels north on Broadway before coming to an end at the Eamon Center. More than 75 community groups, including scouts, dignitaries, and marching bands, will entertain spectators of all ages. And of course, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus will appear in person to usher in the holiday season and will attend a meet and greet at Village Hall after the parade. If you'd like to participate in the parade or for more information, including the parade route, visit orionlightedparade.org.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
All right, and welcome back to ONTV's Fantasy Football League. We're going to look ahead to Week 11, try to make some predictions, maybe help out your starting lineup. The first thing we're going to look at are the bottom fantasy teams, starting with 32nd ranked Cleveland. They're going to be taking on or hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. 31st ranked San Francisco hosting the New England Patriots. Atlanta's on a bye. They're consistently ranked at the bottom. Indy is hosting the Tennessee Titans. 28th, the Saints are traveling to Carolina. And in 27th position, Oakland is hosting Houston. Now let's break it down by skill positions. Let's start with quarterbacks. Ranked dead last against quarterbacks are the Cleveland Browns, who I predicted were going to get a win last week, and they just did not look good at all last week. This week they're hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben had a monster game, 408 passing yards, 3 TDs versus Dallas. Another big game against Cleveland this week from Big Ben.
You know, you would think so, but the Steelers are not good on the road.
Yeah.
So I still think they'll get it done, especially bouncing back after a shootout with the Dallas. I feel like they want a little redemption.
But this is Cleveland we're talking about, a team that potentially could make history. 0 for 16. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that's been done.
I know it's been done.
Now, you said you just picked up Big Ben?
No,
who
Sam
picked up Sam
Ben.
picked up Big Ben.
Sammy
All
at
right.
first had Big Ben, and then he let him go to Ian, and then Ian, for some awful reason,
cut
dropped
him?
Big Ben.
Or-
He was out.
Sammy
All
picked
right.
him back up. So
All right.
Sammy's reaping
Sammy
the rewards.
expects some big things from Big Ben this week. Ranked, Atlanta's on a bye, ranked 30th against quarterbacks. The Detroit Lions hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blake Bortles, who has not looked good. He did have 2 touchdowns, 265 yards last week, but those points were sort of negated by a fumble and an interception, which was a pick 6. What do you think Bortles is going to do against our Lions?
I think he's going to have a good week.
Yeah.
I think the Lions got to be careful here. On paper, they should win, but they're the Lions coming off a bye. Hopefully, they're healthy, but they might be, out of it a little bit. So I think, especially in the first half, Blake Bortles will. I think he's a good, you got nobody else. Might as well throw him in there, kind of a deal.
He's good for garbage time touchdowns, too. I started him in another league because I was dealing with bye weeks, and he gave me some garbage time touchdowns, which, hey, they all count in fantasy football. Ranked 29th, we have the Colts hosting the Tennessee Titans. Mariota has been on a tear. Last week versus Green Bay, 295 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no INTs. Over the course of the season, he's had three touchdown games and 4 2-touchdown games.
Ever since that Detroit Lions game, Marcus Mariota has truly picked up his game.
He's been incredible. And against Packers, what do you think? Big numbers?
Colts?
Or that last week was Packers.
Right.
Against the Colts, what are they going to do?
Especially in Indy. That division's not very good. And so those two going at it, that's a good stadium to play in, throw the ball around in. So I think he'll have a great game.
Yeah,
Especially
definitely.
he can beat you with the legs, too, once in a while.
I
So
wish I would have drafted him. 28th ranked Cincinnati hosting Buffalo. Tyrod Taylor, again, not looking all that great, even though last week versus Cincinnati he had a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Or no, what was it last week? They're playing Cincy this week, right? They're on a bye. Oh, they're on a who?
since
Buffalo?
Buffalo played Seattle on Monday night.
Okay, yeah. So he did that against Seattle,
Yeah.
and they're going to be playing Cincy this week.
Yes,
So
they're playing Cincy.
I don't know. He's up and down. What do you expect from Tyrod Taylor?
Bills are at home. Bills are not a bad football team. Some blown calls in
Actually,
that
no.
Seattle
Bills
game.
are traveling to
They're
Cincy.
at
Oh, okay,
Cincinnati.
okay.
Yeah, they're going on the road.
I don't think the Bengals are very good.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
They find ways to lose a
I
lot.
thought they were surging in the NFL, and they've taken a step back.
Yeah, they're
this
3-5-1. They're just fooling around. I think the Bills are kind of on the cusp. They need, especially with Miami in that division. New England obviously is running away with it, but yeah, I would look for Tyrod Taylor to have a good game.
All right. And it seems like we talk about this team every week. Kansas City is going to be hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who rank 27th against quarterbacks. A little bit of a quarterback controversy in Kansas City. Smith came off injury, I believe, got the start against Carolina, and only threw for 178 yards, 0 touchdowns, no interceptions. Do you steer clear of your Kansas City players?
Yes.
Macklin's out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been brutal. They're hard to watch.
But what's their record? Aren't they like 7-2?
Are they really?
I
The
think
Chiefs?
they're up there. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no excitement over there. Let's move on to running backs. Ranked dead last against running backs are the San Francisco 49ers. They're hosting the New England Patriots. In another league that I'm in, I picked up White in a trade, and he did nothing. And I think he might be in the doghouse or something because Blunt came in, got 3 touchdowns against Seattle. And Deion Lewis, they're talking about coming back into the rotation. So
I got to give credit to my partner in crime, Garrett Kaloje, with helping me get with getting Blunt. Yes, because that's been a very, very beautiful pickup for our team.
Well, get him in the starting lineup this week. I think he's going to have a big game against San Fran. You agree?
49ers are trash.
Yeah.
Blunt is going to roll them up.
Yeah, they're the punching
agree.
bag. Ranked
agree on something.
31st against running backs, Pittsburgh Steelers at Cleveland. Cleveland running backs include Crowell, who he was on fire early in the season, but he's been struggling lately. And Duke Johnson, he gets some carries, but he's been more effective in the passing game. What do you expect from Crowell and the Browns against that Steelers defense?
I think they can have the potential for a good game, especially what's his name, former quarterback at Ohio State.
Oh,
Pryor.
Yes.
Pryor, yeah.
Steelers are not vintage Steelers defense, and like I said, they do not travel well. So could be a bit of a high-scoring affair.
Yeah.
All due respect, Mr. Witherspoon, I have to disagree. I think Pittsburgh's going to roll over Cleveland.
Over Cleveland.
I think they're going to win. It
Yeah.
could get out of hand, but I think Cleveland will put up points.
Yeah,
You're not.
I agree. Atlanta and San Diego have byes. Ranked 28th against the run are the Saints. They're traveling to Carolina. Jonathan Stewart's back in the lineup last week versus Kansas City. 13 carries for 39 yards. That is not a good result. It seems like the Carolina quarterback, Cam Newton, gets the majority of the rush yards. Do you start a Panthers running back against the Saints?
Well, I seem to recall somebody dropping Jonathan Stewart. I went ahead and plugged him in, and it was against the Saints, and he scored me 20 points.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with Jonathan Stewart against against the Saints especially.
Plugging him in?
Yeah.
All right.
That's a Thursday night game as well.
Yes, it is.
Now, talking about running backs, we talked about Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Now let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Cleveland. Le'Veon Bell, last week 57 yards, one
Another pickup.
rushing TD. This is what really impressed me. 9 catches for 77 yards in a TD. Le'Veon Bell, monster game.
I'm expecting another one.
Yeah, you definitely plug him in and let him do his thing, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about wide receivers. Ranked dead last against wide receivers, the Chicago Bears are traveling to New York to take on Odell Beckham, who has somehow flipped the switch after going 4 games to start the season with no touchdowns. He has a ton of touchdowns, 6 touchdowns in 5 games. In week 6, he had 222 yards receiving. And then you have Shepard, who's a nice number 2 there, and he had 42 yards in the touchdown versus Cincy last week. I'm expecting a big game. I'm hoping for a big game from the New York Giants.
You and your New York Giants. Ay, ay, ay.
They're turning things around. They're winning games.
They are, and the Lions got to travel to the Meadowlands later this
There's
year.
a reason why I picked the
be
Cowboys
interesting.
over the Giants. This is why I'm supporting the Dallas Cowboys and Lake Orion alum, Lake Orion great, Jeff Heath.
So, yeah, expect big things from the Giants. Put all your Giant wide receivers into your starting lineup. Ranked 31st, the Oakland Raiders hosting the Houston Texans. Let's talk about DeAndre Hopkins. He came off of a bye. He's fully healthy and went 5 catches for 48 yards against Jacksonville. Only 3 touchdowns this season. One of the biggest busts of the 2016 fantasy season. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Big time.
Brock Osweiler, no good.
Yeah, they
Okay.
need to make some changes over there. Holy moly.
You know, I don't know what it's going to be because Hopkins is not happy.
Yeah.
They paid Osweiler a ton of money without ever even hosting him to talk to him. And Hopkins has been their franchise guy, and he still hasn't gotten paid. So it's very interesting.
Hopkins has not scored a touchdown in the last 4 games. Now, he does have a soft, he's facing soft defenses in the next 4 games. He's got the Raiders, San Diego, Green Bay, and Indy over the next 4 games. This is his chance to turn it around, but you're right. Everything's banking on Osweiler and
Gotta give
what
him the
he's
ball.
going to do.
Yeah, can't throw it himself.
Yikes. All right, I'm going to start Hopkins.
Okay.
Ranked 30th, San Francisco taking on New England. Edelman had a good game against Seattle, 7 catches for 99 yards. Gronk, I know he's a tight end, but he acts like a wide receiver out there. Apparently, there's reports that he has a perforated lung, so you want to keep an eye if
He
you
had
have
that during
Gronk.
the game on Sunday night with Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about that.
Oh right, what did he put up?
5 points.
5 points.
Yep.
So yeah, keep an eye on Gronk. Monitor that situation. They said it's not very serious, so but
You have to be careful with any type of lung injuries because that impacts your breathing.
yeah. But definitely start Edelman. If he can put up those kind of numbers against Seattle, he's going to put up big numbers against San Fran. Ranked 29th, Tennessee, traveling to Indy. Hilton has been battling a hamstring injury, but he's been playing fairly well through it. Against Green Bay, 6 catches for 82 yards. And Moncrief, since coming back from an injury, has been playing really well. He has 2 touchdowns over the last 2 games. Start your Indy players
I'd be
against
cool with
Tennessee.
either one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Ranked 28th, Kansas City Chiefs hosting Tampa Bay. Again, this is another name that seems to come up every week. Mike Evans. That guy is a beast. He only had 4 catches for 66 yards against Chicago, and he didn't have a catch in
Didn't
the first
he make
half.
controversy for the whole... I won't go into it.
Against Atlanta, he had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in Week 9. Mike Evans, get him in there, right?
I'm always cool with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would even consider starting him on a bye week. I don't think he can do any worse. Man, that guy's been incredible. Atlanta's on a bye, and ranked 26th, Carolina versus New Orleans. Michael Thomas, who had negative points, right? In Week 9, he had 2 touchdowns against San Francisco. But as we all know, Cooks is the go-to guy. He had only 3 catches against Denver, who has a really solid defense. But those 3 catches resulted in 98 yards and a touchdown. So, yeah, start your Saints receivers against Carolina.
I would, but I'd be cautious because they're not in the dome.
Yeah.
And when the Saints are on the road, they're a different team.
Yeah.
I actually agree with Ian Witherspoon that the Saints are a very, very different team when it comes to being at home and then on the road.
Alrighty. Well, get your Saints and your Panthers into your starting lineup because they play on Thursday night. So keep an eye on that. Lions are back against the Jags. Sunday night football, we have Packers and the Redskins. That should be interesting. And then Monday night football, Texans and the Raiders. Now, with the last few minutes we have left in our program, let's look at Week 11 in the ONTV Fantasy Football League. Witherspoon and I are going head-to-head.
Ooh, this should be quite fun.
I'm going to play the spoiler here and try and give some of your division rivals a chance. Let's look at the preview for this game.
You know who I want to see win.
Let's see. The preview. Oh, I got some buys to worry about. Ooh, oh no, you do. You got Freeman, you got Jones on a buy, and your kicker's on a buy. You're going to have to hit the waiver wire. Oh, I got some buy issues too. I got 4 guys on a buy. So yeah, I got to work on my starting lineup here, but my backup quarterback to Matt Ryan is Eli Manning, so I'm comfortable putting him in as my starting quarterback. So, what do you think?
Yeah.
Got any trash talking for me?
No.
No?
None.
It's going to be interesting.
Lost 2 in a row. I can't talk.
I need to win this one to stay in the hunt.
Yes, you do.
Let's move on to the next one. Ant, since you're breathing down my neck over here, let's go to your game. You're taking on the league worst Valhalla, the Thrashers.
I got to be
You are
careful because I can't get
projected right,
overconfident.
even though there's still some biases here,
Yeah.
but you're projected to double his score, which
Yeah.
I would not surprise. You're going to keep Luck in your starting lineup?
We have some surprises up our sleeve.
Luck, Hilton,
I'm
hookup?
not gonna reveal our entire strategy. We got some surprises up our sleeve.
Don't
team's
lie. You're
looking
starting
solid.
Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, Ian Witherspoon, no wonder why you're projected to lose this week.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I'm predicting a blowout in that game.
Come on, Ian.
No way.
Let's see. Let's look at Irish Brogues versus Velez, who desperately needs a win. After starting out strong, he's fallen to 5-5.
You know, right now, let's be honest with you. Kevin McCormick's the hottest team in the league.
He's won 3 in a row.
He's won 3 in a
there.
row. Hottest team in the league right now.
He's got Prescott, who's firing on all cylinders. DeMarco Murray. Gurley has been struggling, but I would feel comfortable leaving him in the starting lineup. Boy, he has a good-looking team there.
I mean, Velez is going to have to try to bounce back in some way, but Kevin McCormick's the hottest team in the league right now.
Velez does have Brady.
It'll be very, very challenging for Velez. This is going to be a good game between those two.
Well, Brady's taking on San Francisco.
Yeah.
And,
That's true. That does help.
I'm expecting a multiple touchdown game from Brady, but
That does help him.
we'll see. This one I think's
Arizona
too close to
at
call.
Minneapolis or at Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah.
Your thoughts on that game?
Minnesota
would be
defense
interesting.
pretty solid, man.
They are in a tailspin as a team.
Are they? Yeah.
Well, they've lost 4 in a row.
Do you blame the defense or the offense? It seems like the offense isn't
The offense
playing
is
all that
terrible. They don't have a line.
well. Yeah.
We'll
Let's
see.
quickly, we're running out of time. Let's look at our last matchup here. Atwater versus Reawakening.
This could easily be the game of the week because both these
yeah.
teams are desperate for a win. Sammy beat them by 4 points.
Both
beat
are
John
4
by
and 6.
4 points last time. So it'll be
Both
exciting.
are desperate to stay in. They both
I
need
agree.
wins. It's going to be interesting. All right, well, that'll wrap up this week's edition of ONTV's Fantasy
you,
Football
Joe.
League. Thanks for dropping by, guys. Good luck in Week 11, and good luck in your Fantasy Football League. We will see you next time. We'll look back on Week 11 and look ahead to Week 12. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Bye, everyone.